About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
Evening all, welcome to our latest AQA A-Level Psychology live revision session. It's Jim here at Tutor2 and I'm joined again tonight by two familiar faces. We've got Lara in the middle and Anne on the right. Good evening.
Evening everyone.
Good evening.
Good to see you. Now we've taken a break. We've done a couple of weeks on issues and debates. We did a bit of biopsych earlier in the term, but we're back to biopsychology tonight with a session on hemispheric lateralisation. I think I've said that right. That's about as far as I go in terms of specialist knowledge, but I just know that our live student audience tonight will know a lot more than me. Well, hopefully, I'm sure you will. And I can see from the live dial that we've got lots and lots of students in tonight, which is fantastic, which means an opportunity for you to get your answers in first in the live chat and get a shout out from Lara and Anne, assuming they can keep up with the live chat. Can be quite hard. I'm sure they will. And also don't forget there'll be some bonus questions that Anne and Lara will throw in there. We've got about 35 minutes or so. Almost enough for me. If you're on live chat, please do use the live chat to add your answers to the activities. Plus any questions. If you've got any terms that we come across, we'll do our best to answer those. Sorry, Lara and Anne will do their best to answer those. And if you watch on replay or catch up, and we've had thousands of students watch the sessions this term, obviously you can't use the live chat, but please, do pause the video, give yourself a bit more time. And right, I think we're good to go. Who's starting tonight? Is it you, Lara, or if it's not you, is it Anne? Who's it going to be?
It's me.
Superb stuff.
Okay, guys, so as Jim was saying, this is hemispheric lateralisation, bit of a mouthful. So this is obviously the biopsychology topic, which is assessed in paper 2. And I think with most of the biopsychology topics, the thing to remember is there is a lot of specialist terminology here because it is biology at the end of the day. So We'll be going through some specialist key terms as one of our starter games today. We'll also be going through the methodology for split brain research and how that is actually examined and assessed. And we'll also be going through clarity on split brain research findings. I think that's kind of an area that sometimes gets a bit muddled. So hopefully we'll be giving you quite a bit of clarity on the findings of those research. So let's start with our first game then. This is our missing vowels game. Some of you will recognise this, some of you might be new to this. There are vowels missing and you are going to need to give me the phrase, the word, the name in the chat box. Let's see who's going to get it first. I think we started off with a pretty easy one. Olivia in there first. Anybody else? As a bit of an extension, really good, Emma, well done. As a bit of an extension, who can tell me who this is? What have they done? Who is Roger Sperry? Good, excellent, really good. Some really good answers coming through. So who is Roger Sperry? Who can tell me? At the moment, this is just a name. So Emma, you've said split brain. Tutor 2, you have not got the right answer, I'm afraid. He is not a tennis player. Mercy, Sperry split brain study. Yeah, a lot of you are saying that it's the main kind of split brain research, which you're quite right. I'm not going to give anything more away than that because we're going to be going through that research, as you can probably guess, in a moment. So well done. And Kia investigated patients with epilepsy whose corpus callosum had been split. Really good answers coming through. I'm really impressed. Yeah, okay, let's see. Can we get the second word then, guys? Who's going to get this first? What is this word? Who's going to be the first to get it? Ah, Jessica in there first. And Kay, Olivia. Yeah, really good. We're getting the right answers here. Yeah, so obviously we're going to be looking at both hemispheres, of which obviously we have two, a left and a right hemisphere, which is obviously going to directly link with our methodology and with the findings of split brain research. So well done, guys. Yeah, already on fire indeed. And I think maybe you might, I don't know, I think you guys are going to get this one, but let's see. I think someone's already maybe mentioned it, but let's see who's going to get this one first. See if you can get the spelling right as well. Yeah. Opney, Max, Olivia, Sipping Spoon, Mercy, Harvey. Yeah, really good. Yeah, so it is the corpus callosum. Can anyone tell me what that is exactly? If you were going to medically explain that to someone who didn't know what it meant, what would you say? What is that? What is the corpus callosum? So Callum, good. The bridge between the two hemispheres. Yeah, and Harvey connects both hemispheres. Max, even more specific, bundle of nerves. Really good that connect the two hemispheres. Really good answers here. Yeah, and Opney, part of the brain that allows communication between both hemispheres. Even better. Yeah, really good. So I think we've got the idea there. Fibers conjoining both hemispheres to allow communication. Really good. Well done, guys. Let's go on to the next one then. All right, again, I think this one looks quite tough on the surface, but I think you're going to get this. And I do believe someone's already, I think a couple of you have already said this actually in a previous answer. What is this one? Who's going to get it first? Kia in there first. Impressed. And India following. Yeah, epileptic patients. And Harvey as well. Really good. Edwina as well. You've got the correct answer. Yeah, so can you just explain to me why I've put epileptic patients here? What has that got to do with this topic area? What's that got to do with this topic area? Who can? So, Jessica, you're saying Roger Sperry. Can you elaborate on that? So those are the split brain patients Sperry investigated. Yeah. Sipping spoon. You're saying curing the corpus callosum was a common treatment for epilepsy, so it gave Sperry his sample. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, Emma took out the corpus to stop epilepsy, and Sperry tests on. Yeah, I think we've got the right idea here, guys. So yeah, they were the participants, if you like, in Sperry's split brain research. So really, really good going there. Right, we've got one more. Maybe the hardest one. I don't know. Maybe a couple of you are going to see this straight away, and it's going to jump out at you. What phrases is this then? Who's going to get in there first then with that one? Are we still thinking about this, I think?
Well,
oh, Tom.
go.
Tom, you got in there first. Really, really good. And then Talia following, India, yeah, language dominant. There is a language dominant side, but we're going to leave that for a game a bit later. I won't elaborate too much on that. Really good, guys, for that opening game there for the missing vowels. I'm going to pass you on to Anne now. Anne's going to play the Categorize game with you guys.
Okay, so we now know, as a result of research like Sperry's and other research, that the two different hemispheres of the brain have different sort of functions or different abilities. So you've got 60 seconds to separate these. Use the chat box and just put LH and put the numbers that apply to the left hemisphere, and then RH and the numbers that apply to the right hemisphere. And then when you've done it, or at the end of the 60 seconds, press the button and send it. Okay, so if we want to start the timer. Don't forget to do the RH as well. So it must be the others. Okay, great stuff. Well, Talia, I think you were the first one to put in both. Tom, Emma, Casey, etc. got the left ones, and obviously the others must be the right. But Talia, I think, was the first to get them all correct there. Tessa coming in there. Okay, so if we put the answers up then. So the left hemisphere then is the language centres of the brain are in the left hemisphere, grammar and vocabulary. Does anybody know any other kind of abilities that are controlled by the left hemisphere? Anybody give me any others? Even just one other? Yes, because that's language, yeah. So you've got the speech production and the speech comprehension are both in the left hemisphere. Anything else from anybody? Not face recognition, no, ability to speak, so that's still language. Things like reading and analysing and logic, yeah, movement on the right side, but we're going to come on to that in a minute. But yes, okay, that's lovely. And then on the right hemisphere, we've got things like depth perception, spatial navigation. For example, people with right brain injuries are very prone to getting lost even when they're in environments where they're familiar with, because obviously we all get lost where it's somewhere we don't know where we are. But even in familiar environments, they're prone to getting lost. Visualization, music, it's also a synthesizer. What that means is it kind of organizes information and integrates it, and it helps us to keep track of a topic when we're thinking about it. Anything else for the right hemisphere that I haven't mentioned? Yeah, maths. I think that Nelly, I think you were still talking about the left, and yeah, that's right. Anything else for the right hemisphere that isn't mentioned there? Yep, emotions, recognizing emotions in others. Well done, Saffron. And somebody said face recognition earlier, but that's, yeah, facial recognition. Yeah, Talia, well done. So lots of these things, but they do kind of integrate together. It's sometimes not as kind of cut and dried and as separate as we think. Yeah, we've got creativity. Okay. Right, so I'm going to pass you back to Lara for a true and false quiz.
Okay, so as it is, guys, we're going to read the question out or read the phrase out, and you're going to tell me whether you think it's true or false. So, hemispheric lateralisation is the idea that two halves of the brain are functionally different. Is that true or is that false? Harvey, you got in there first. So, Harvey and Jessica, you're both saying true. Okay. Any other responses? Yeah, we've got a lot coming through now. So a lot of you are saying true. Yeah, let's reveal that one. So as we've just seen with that previous task, each side we can see from research, is functionally different. They have different aims, different functions in each hemisphere, as it were. Let's go on to the next one then. So this one is the right side of the brain is language dominant. Is that true or is that false? Okay, so a lot of you are saying false. I think Talia, you were in there first. Or was that Harvey? It is false. It is actually, it's the left side of the brain, which is our language dominant side. Now, just a bit of an extension here. Can anybody tell me what the two language areas are called in the left side? What are their names? Max, well done. Broca and Vernix area. Yeah, a lot of you are getting this answer. So just another extension on that. Can anybody specify exactly whereabouts Broca's area is in the brain? So, for example, the lobe, what lobe it's in. Same with Wernicke's area. Can anybody specify where that is in the brain, the location? We know it's on the left side, but what lobes are they? So Jessica, you said Broca's is in the frontal lobe. Yeah, can we specify what one we're referring to when we give parts of the brain? So, yeah, Casey, you've said frontal lobe as well. That's correct. So Broca's area is the left frontal lobe. What about Wernicke's area? Temporal lobe. Excellent. Yeah, Owen and Saffron, well done. Yep, Josie as well. Excellent. All right, let's move on to the next question then. Really good. So originally the corpus callosum was severed to reduce symptoms of epilepsy. Is that true or is that false? Yeah, so a lot of us are saying true here. Yeah, so a lot of you probably know this. Yeah, the correct answer is true. A lot of you probably know that from the background behind Roger Sperry's experiments that he did on split brain patients, as we identified at the start. So really good, guys. Let's have a look at the next one then. This one is the right side of the brain controls the right side of the body. Is that true or is that false? So right side of the brain controls the same side, the right side of the body. Okay, God, they came in fast there. So I'm not sure who was first. So I think it might have been Tom. Said false. A lot of you are saying false here. Just wait for a few more. Yeah. Okay. So we're all in agreement that this is false. Quite rightly so. The right side of the brain is going to control the left side of the body and vice versa. The left side of the brain is going to control the right side of the body. And again, that directly links in with the methodology of Sperry's research into split brain research. And we're going to go over those findings, Layla, just to specify that on another game that we're going to play in a moment. So let's do our last true or false then. I'm interested to see what you're going to answer for this one, guys. So Sperry's experiment was a quasi-experiment. Is that true or is that false? Jessica, you're saying true. I want to know your justifications. So if you're going to give me an answer for this one, I want to know why it's false or why it's true. We've got some mixed responses here, so it'd be interesting to see what your justification for your answers are. Yeah, a lot of mixed answers here. Jessica, you're saying naturally occurring, but what exactly is naturally occurring, Jessica? We need to maybe be a little bit more specific. India, you've said they already took something that was occurring. Yeah. Again, we're looking for some specialist terms here. So, Alice, here we go. IV was natural and the environment was controlled. I think the key thing there, Alice, was that the IV was natural, but something else about the IV that we need to really concentrate on here. Yeah, India, the epilepsy was that was the naturally occurring thing. Yes, the IV is not manipulated. A lot of you are kind of getting this, but we need to make sure we're obviously pointing in the direction of using terms like the independent variable and saying that it's not manipulated. It's a naturally occurring, if you like, occurrence or feature of the participants themselves. So that's why it's quasi. So those of you that said true and were able to justify that, really well done. Excellent. Okay, so those of you that are asking to go through the methodology or Sperry's research, a couple of these questions are going to help with that. And I think Anne will kind of help you clarify some of those findings. So you're going to play the next game with Anne for multiple choice.
Okay, so Sperry in his research gave the split brain patients a variety of tasks to do. And one of those tasks was where he using a tachistoscope, I can never say it, because this research was quite a long time ago, that allowed him to present pictures or to present information to either the right visual field or to the left visual field. And you need to remember that the split brain patients could not transfer information from one hemisphere to the other because the corpus callosum had been cut. So when he presented a picture to the right visual field only, what did he find that the participants did? Which of those is correct? I'm getting a lot of A's here. A lot of A's here, that they could verbally describe the picture. Okay, so let's bring up the right answer. Okay, so can somebody tell, Lawrence has a question, yeah. If you can ask that question and we'll try and see it, or Lara can see it. Yeah, why is that correct? And Alyssa has answered it. It's correct because the picture presented to the right visual field would be processed by the left hemisphere, and that controls language. So therefore, they would be able to verbally describe the picture. Okay, and Olivia's come up with the same answer there. So that's why the answer is A. It's hard for me, these rights and lefts, because I really struggle telling the right from a left. Okay, so if we go for the next one. Okay, so this is still the same where they're presenting a picture. So this time, if a picture was presented to the left visual field, what would they be able to do? Because they can communicate, Layla, because it's going to the left side of their brain. Right visual field is controlled by the left side of the brain, so they are able to communicate. Okay, so this is number 2. So we've got A's. and we've got D's and we've got C's. We've got quite a few C's, and we've got D's and we've got A's. We've got everything here. Okay, then let's see what the correct answer here was. They weren't, in this one, they weren't being asked to draw. This wasn't a drawing task, so that's a bit of a red herring there. They were being asked to say. And so the correct answer is C. They reported nothing present. Okay, so why is that the correct answer? Why is it C? If it had been a drawing task, yes, they could have drawn they could have drawn it, but we're not on the drawing task here. Okay, so why is the correct answer here C? Yes, because you put languages in the left hemisphere. So where has this information gone to? I know where you're at, Lila, but you need to give you a little bit more information there. Yes, Emma, there is a study of a girl who only has one hemisphere. I've seen that. Yeah, so because the picture's being presented to the left visual field, that information has gone to the right hemisphere. And so that information has to just stay in the right hemisphere, which does not have language. So therefore, they can't send it over to the other one. So therefore, they said that there was nothing present, even if there was. But interestingly, if they were then asked to draw what they saw with their right hand, then they would be able to do that. Sorry, with the left hand. Left, right, yeah, with the left hand they would actually have been able to do that if they were asked to draw it, and be drawing something that they hadn't seen, which, if you think about it, must be kind of really quite confusing. Okay, so if we go to number 3. Okay, so this relates to the drawing task. So words were presented to either the left or the right visual field, and then they were asked to do something with it. Okay, so which of those is correct? So did they know there was something there? No, Talia, I don't think they did, but then they were surprised when they could draw it. So yes, that's an interesting one, that even if they were right-handed, they could draw better with the left hand controlled by the right hemisphere. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of D's here. Okay, which is right? So words presented to the left visual field, they could draw the object, but with which hand? Which hand would be able to draw the object? If you think about it, it's presented to the left visual field. It goes to the right side. It's not the right, it's the left, because it's gone to the right hemisphere, which controls the left hand. Okay, so it's the left with their left hand. Yes, Tom, that's correct. It's so these lefts and rights, so you have to really, really think about it carefully. Does anybody know what another task was? So we've talked about the naming task. We've talked about the drawing task. Does anybody know any other tasks that they were asked to do? Yeah, tactile. What did that involve, Lila? I hope I'm saying your name right. What did the tactile task? That's a tongue twister. What did that actually involve? What do they involve? The grab bag. Yes. So they had to recognise it by touch. Okay. So again, they were shown objects, and then they had to recognise them by touch, and they found they could do that even if they couldn't name them. When you think about it, these studies must have been quite confusing for them, selecting similar objects. Yes, they did something with matching faces, I think it was, and composite words. Would this ever be a 16 marker? You could get a 16 marker, yes, to discuss the research, the split brain research. It is a possibility. Okay, yeah, better not be. So because it could be an essay question, then we do need to think about some evaluations. So I'm going to pass you over to Lara for the first one.
Okay, so we're going to be doing 3 evaluation points, guys. I'm going to give you a bit of time to do this. So obviously you're going to need to rearrange the scrambled sentences to make the perfect peel paragraph. So try to read all of the phrases, and then I want you to order the numbers in the correct order you think the paragraph goes in, and then enter that in as your answer, okay? And we'll see who gets it first. We've got 5 statements here, so you're going to have to rearrange these. So just type the numbers in to the answer box when you think you're done. So Olivia got in there first. 51432, and Mercy. No, I'm not doing that, tutor to you. I think they've got this. I think they've got this under wraps, and they have. Yeah, a lot of you have got the right answer. Some of you have got maybe. So Casey, you've put 534. Just a couple muddled there, Casey. But most of you've got this right. Let's reveal the right answer. So it is 51432. So we've got our kind of point with our top word, strength. So a strength of the research that underpins hemispheric lateralisation is that it has high internal validity. We're going to explain why that is. Sperry used specialist equipment to examine the brain, and this method could be argued to be scientific and objective. We're going to explain why that is. So, for example, Sperry used, I can never say this, Anne, I'm going to tag you in.
Tachistoscope.
Excellent. And devised a whole series of tasks. So, for example, tactile and visual tasks to examine the function of the split brain. And then we've got this means that the tests were carried out in a consistent and controlled way. And therefore, our link back is this is a strength because it means that the researchers were measuring what they claimed to measure. And we could again refer to validity there, but obviously we've put it in the P. So that would be one evaluation point, and that's quite a nice strength. Not too overcomplicated, but enough kind of elaboration and enough evidence in there to state why it's scientific and objective. So well done, all of you, for getting that correct. Anne's going to do the next one.
Okay, yes, it means it can be replicable. Yes, you could add a bit more in there. Well done, Lila. Okay, so with the same thing again. So we've got another paragraph, different evaluation points. So again, if you can put the numbers in the right order, the 5 numbers. Okay. 5, 3, not quite. 5, 3, I think we've got somebody got it quite yet. 5, 3. Sometimes there's a couple that are just the right. They're almost there. 5, 3. Seems to be the 2s and the 4s. But, not quite the right way round, but you've got the right gist of it. 5, 3. I think everybody's got 5, 3. It's the 4s and the 2s. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. But sometimes it would work a different way round. I mean, Harvey's got 2 1s in there. 5, 3, 4. Oh, not quite, Alice. Almost. Okay, let's have a look. We're almost there. And maybe it would work the other way as well. Okay, so this time we've got a limitation or a weakness. So a weakness of the research that underpins hemispheric lateralisation is it has low generalisability. So there's your point. But obviously then you need to go on and explain this and justify it. So in Sperry's original study, he only focused on 11 patients, all of whom had epilepsy. So I think most people got 5 followed by 3. Furthermore, the split brain procedure is rarely carried out now, so patients are hard to come by. That was the one that some of you was putting it for the other side of one, and that would work as well. Then this means it is difficult to generalize the findings to a healthy population. Therefore, we do not know that Sperry's results apply beyond the small sample of epileptic patients originally tested. So that takes it right through and then links it, because often what students do is they say they give a strength or give a weakness and then give some kind of elaboration of that, but then don't clearly explain exactly why it's a weakness. It's kind of left with you still thinking, well, so what? What does this tell us? Why is this a problem? So it's always important to remember to explain that clearly, why something is a strength or why something is a weakness, rather than just say that it is. Does the split brain research show? It does show that hemispheric lateralisation exists, because it does show that the different hemispheres are responsible for different functions, particularly, the fact that the left side is responsible for language. So yes, it does show that for certain abilities. Okay, so back over to Lara for the third paragraph.
So I'm just going to add to that, Anne, what you've said there, because that's a really good question. As Anne said, completely correct. It does demonstrate it exists. But don't forget within biopsych that you can kind of recycle topics within each other. So topics like plasticity and functional recovery demonstrate that actually maybe the hemispheres aren't so lateralized, and actually, the right side can take on language capabilities, for example, in certain circumstances. So again, revisit that, and it is, I think, a topic we might be doing in the future if you do need a recap of that. But just be mindful that you can kind of recycle some of that information into this topic as well. All right, okay, let's look at our third evaluation point then. So here with this one, we have 6 statements this time, 6 phrases, 6 sentences. Again, I'm going to give you a bit of time. God, Josie, you're already in there. Let's see if we've got this right. Josie, you're correct with number 1, but only number 1 so far. Ella, this is, it's known as Year 2 content in biopsych. If you're doing the A level, obviously this is assessed. If you're taking an AS, then hemispheric lateralisation won't be assessed in the AS qualification, no. So we're starting with a 1. So who else we've got? We've got Emma. Emma, you've put 1, 3. Okay, so far we've got 1, 3, which is correct. So it's not 6, which is next, guys. So we've got 1, 3. Oh, Josie, you're close. So it's not 6, which is third. That's the one that we're not getting right. So Elisa, we've got 1, 3, 2, 6. Oh, we got so nearly there. Callum, what have you got? 1, 3, 2, 6, 5, 4. I think Callum was the first to get it right there. Really well done. Let's have a go. Let's have a read through together then. So we've got our point. A further criticism of the research that underpins hemispheric lateralisation is it could be argued to be oversimplified. So Sperry's work has been criticised for oversimplifying the functional distinction between the left and the right hemispheres, because modern neuroscientists suggest that the actual distinction is less clear-cut. Here's our example evidence. So, for instance, in the normal brain, the 2 hemispheres are in constant communication, and many of the behaviours typically associated with one hemisphere can be effectively performed by the other hemisphere if necessary. For example, Turketel, 2002, discovered a patient who suffered damage to the left hemisphere but developed a capacity to speak in the right hemisphere. So this suggests that lateralisation is not fixed and the brain can adapt following damage to certain areas. So that, guys, is my point that I was just saying before. that actually we can recycle that kind of topic of plasticity and functional recovery over here with this evidence by Turk to kind of critically evaluate hemispheric lateralisation. So really good, guys, for getting that correct, especially those of you that put your answers in there just as I didn't quite get that. So let's have our last ending kind of exam gold slide then. So just as a review for today's session, do make sure you learn the specialist biological terminology. Do understand the methodology of the split brain research, including that you know how to communicate the findings in a clear format. And again, don't forget, apply your research methods to evaluating the method of split brain research. You know, for example, the fact that it's Sperry's research is a quasi experiment. Think about his sampling. Think about the participants involved. So again, there is easier evaluation. Again, don't make your lives harder by remembering really unique points for each topic. What you really want to be trying to do is recycling things like issues and debates, recycling other topic areas to evaluate topics, and again using your research methods as well. So really well done, all of you. You've done so well this evening. It's a hard topic, hemispheric lateralisation. Okay, and don't forget to look on Tutor2U website for our range of resources. We've got booklets, we've got other videos to watch, revision blasts, and we've also got quite a lot of analysis of exam papers and questions and answers that you can also seek out there.
Superb. Yeah, I was just following up. Lila, I think it was, asked a question. Could you get a 16 marker on this topic? And well, looks like you can.
On hemispheric lateralisation, you definitely could get a 16 marker on. Yeah, but
no
like
product placement going on here, but I was just looking at the Exam Buster revision guide, which includes lots of worked answers to 16 markers, and there's a couple actually: outline and evaluate research into lateralisation and/or the split brain. And a couple.
There we go. And what booklet is that? Sorry, Jim, so the students know.
Just to mention it, it's the AQA Biopsychology Exam Buster revision guide. So all the notes you need, but lots of worked answers. 16
and they
markers
can get
that
on the website, can't they?
Yeah, it's one of those. I'll stick a link in the comments section of the video rather than live chat, because obviously once we finish live, it goes to comments rather than live chat. So I'll make sure we stick a link into that. What an amazing session! Have you ever seen responses like that? Yeah. Amazing, amazing
really
stuff.
Nice discussion going on of further limitations in the chat as well. That's good as well. So we've got some additional evaluation points. So well done.
There's no doubt the students who attend our sessions, well, particularly the live students tonight, but of course, hopefully the replay sessions as well, they are absolutely on top of what is a pretty tricky topic area, isn't it? So I was lost after about 2 minutes, Lara, but you know that would be the case, didn't you? So
yeah. Well, we're sticking with biopsych over the next. I think the next week is biopsych, so that's going to be Zeitgebers and pacemakers. And then I think the week after that, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you know this, Jim, and I think we're going back to issues and debates. We can't switch between those two topic areas, so biopsych and issues and debates. But yeah, Zeitgebers and pacemakers will be our topic for next week if you are kind of feeling like you need to do a bit of revision, bit of recap on your biopsych. And
don't forget, Lara and Anne and the team did some general biopsych sessions earlier this calendar year. So if you go to tutor2u.net/live, you better go and pick out. I think we did a couple of biopsych sessions, research methods, and obviously the paper one stuff as well. So check that out if you need a little bit of extra help or just want to fancy doing some different revision. Take a look. What's to be lost.
Good luck those of you that have got a test. I can see Emma, you've got a psychology next week, so hopefully this is really helpful.
Absolutely. Well, all the best with that. I'm sure you'll be fine. One of probably many tests and assessments coming up before the exams in the summer, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Well done, everyone. As always, a huge thanks to Lara and Anne. I mean, they are really, really busy, and so we appreciate them putting together this amazing session and all the previous sessions, and for being with us tonight. It's a date, isn't it? It's Tuesdays at 5:30. That must be psychology time. So we'll see you this time next week for another live session. Spread the word, invite your mates, and if you can't catch us live, catch us on the replay. We're always here. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Bye.
Guys, bye.